you're having an amazing day. Today's class is a total body Pilates workout. So we're working head to toe. You know we're always all about that core, always all about that peach, but we'll get in some upper body in there as well as your legs. We're gonna get started here on the mat. We're not really gonna get up from the mat. We'll start sitting, we'll lie down, do some side lying stuff. But to get started, you can just plop yourself right in the center of that mat. Go ahead and bend your knees and your feet are just hanging out in front of you on the mat. Do not feel like you have to be crunched up into this itty bitty little ball shape at the front edge of the mat. Just bend the knees wherever feels comfortable. It's going to be super easy for your hip flexors to try to grip on in this first series of core exercises, getting nice and warm across the spine. So if you do start to feel that, you can always just bring those legs out in front of you, however feels comfortable. Now try to sit up as tall as you can on those sits bones. So if you have to kind of move that meaty part away from those glutes so you can really feel your connection to the ground and that support system for your nice, beautiful vertical posture. Once you're here, you're going to bring your arms out like a letter O in front of you. Just enough so that those fingertips, probably the middle finger's longest finger, can kiss. And then just bring your shoulders down away from your ears. We're starting with a nice big inhale to prepare, feel tall, feel long. And then on the exhale, you're gonna come into your half roll back. You're tucking your tailbone under, rolling halfway back until you feel about where your back pockets on your jeans would be, pressing down into that mat below you. Now your spine has gone round just like your arms are right now. You're feeling that belly button pull back and that pubic bone tucking up towards those fingertips. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, you're just going to sit up nice and tall. Keep those arms in a letter O. We're doing 4 more of those. Exhale to move back, and then inhale to sit high. Exhale to lean back. Inhale to sit up nice and high. Really pull your ribs and your hips together. You'll see why we need that in a second. You're going to roll yourself back, hold yourself back. Now from here, I'm going to lean back 2 more inches. Try to get my right elbow down to the ground next to me. And then sit right back up to that half roll back. So you're not sitting all the way up, just a half roll back. Lean back, left elbow comes down. Lift just a half roll back. Lean as that right elbow comes down. And lift. Try to keep those hands right in front of your heart. So make sure that your arms aren't doing the twisting, but your core and your center is doing the twisting. This is all about those obliques, getting some nice deep strength surrounding that spine. Even here at the start of class, we're firing on all cylinders right from the get-go. Keep on moving, find that strength. How about 2 more sets of these? Just 2 more sets, you got this. And then once you're done with that last set, keep those arms in a letter O. Find center, take a breath. Keep the arms in that letter O. Sit up nice and tall. Take another breath. From here, we're going right back into that half roll back. Activate your core as much as you can. Keep those ribs and those hips glued together. From here, this O shape of my arms are going to come up overhead. O shape of my arms are going to lower right back in front of my chest. You want to breathe out on the way up. Breathe in on the way down. It's the opposite of what your body's going to want to naturally do, but it's going to keep those front ribs closed. As you move your arms while hanging onto the core, you're going to notice that your heart rate starts to elevate. As we lift those arms up overhead, you're just bringing some cardio into it. You might feel a shaking sensation down the front part of that torso. Ooh, that's why we sometimes call this earthquake abs. We're here for 3 more. For 2 more. On the last one, I'm going to hold my hands up overhead. Can you keep those hands up overhead? You're going to bring your right leg up to tabletop. Set the right foot down. Left leg to tabletop. And set it down, 1 leg at a time, little marches. Try to pull from your core as much as you can. Scoop from those obliques. You're feeling that deep contraction. Shake in both directions. If you can, lean back 2 inches further. Scoop even more for the abdominals. No gripping in those hips. Breathe into it. Next time that right leg is at tabletop, it's going to stay at tabletop. Left leg's going to meet the right leg, both legs at tabletop. Arms are going to lower down. Arms are going to lift up. Arms are going to lower down. Arms are gonna lift up. Last thing in this series, guys, you got this. Feeling warm from head to toe already. Breathe for me. We've got 4 more. After that last one, keep those arms at a letter O. Drop those feet. Sit up nice and tall and relax those arms by your sides. Oh my goodness, shake out that head. Already feeling so good. You're like, okay, are we done with the workout now? Nope, let's keep on going. Legs are gonna go out long. I'm gonna have you open your legs about the distance of your mat, if not even a little wider, just like a little V shape of the legs. Same thing, sit up on those sits bones. You need to bend the knees a little bit here to stay up tall. I want you to go ahead and do that. So the posture is going to be more important than the straight legs. You are, however, flexing your feet, digging those heels down, no matter whether the legs are straight or bent. Now we're going to take an exercise called spine stretch forward. It's a nice big stretch, but it's also about articulating in your spine. So just listen carefully. You're sitting up nice and tall. Reach those arms straight out in front of you, straight out in front of those shoulders like Frankenstein. Imagine someone has the tips of those fingers. They're going to pull your fingertips all the way past those toes, but you're keeping your arms parallel to the floor. So notice how your hands are going to want to drop all the way down to your mat. Can you keep the upper part of your arms glued next to your ears as you take that reach forward? From here, you're just going to sit right back up nice and tall, hands in front of the shoulders. So head drops between those arms, reach forward, keep them parallel to the floor, and then sit up nice and tall. You want to breathe out as you reach forward. It's like you're going up over a big beach ball, and then breathe in as you sit back up. So you feel that stretch in the backs of your legs when you dive forward. Stretch across both sides of the spine as you dive forward. But then there's work in your abdominals to get you back up to that vertical sitting up tall shape. Think one bone at a time. It's articulation. So my ribs come back first, then my shoulders, then my neck, then my head. Feel the difference. Let's do 2 more of those. 1 more of those. Sit up nice and tall. Drop those arms. Shake out the head. We're going to build on that. So your legs are still in this V shape, this V position. I'm going to have you twist your heart towards that right leg. Your left hand is going to reach across towards the right pinky toe, and your right hand is going to reach back behind you. So you're in what's called a twist, or we sometimes call this a saw in mat Pilates. Now from here, you're going to roll back into a little ball. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, your glutes lift. Come back to that V shape of the feet and switch sides. Right hand past the left pinky toes, left hand back behind you. We're going slow. Roll back, lean into a little ball. Knees and elbows both bend. And then shoot back out to that twist, to that saw. You want to exhale on the way back. Inhale as you stretch, reach across, twist. Exhale to roll back. Inhale as you stretch, reach across, twist. There is a little momentum here, so if you can, start to lift the seat as you roll back. Keep the chin nodded in towards your chest as you roll back. And then add that little momentum using your breath, using that reach of the legs and the core. But don't force it so much that you roll all the way back past the shoulders. So you just want about the middle part of your shoulders to be able to make it down to that mat. Now again, heart rate's going to start to elevate. Feel that engagement in your center. Can you move with control in both directions? So it's really easy just to start to flop around. Activate that center part of your torso to find that form. We're going to do 1 more set, over to the right leg, over to the left leg. Once you're done with that 1 more set on both sides, come back into that little ball, hug your knees in towards your chest, and drop the head down. Shake right ear to the mat, left ear to the mat. Lengthen the neck. Try to slow down your breath. 2 more times. And then your arms are just gonna drop down by your sides. Try to keep those knees pulled in towards the chest as much as you can. So you're still scooping your core here. We're gonna use this little ball position in our next exercise, keeping the neck nice and long, coming into some inversions. So these are amazing for circulation, for blood flow, but they can be compromising for your neck. So just make sure that that neck stays nice and long. And if you ever feel any tension back there, all you do is you just bring those hips right back down to the mat. From here, you're gonna try to bring those knees all the way in, pressing into the backs of your arms so those glutes lift up. My knees are aiming all the way towards my forehead here. Engage your core as much as you can. You're gonna bring your palms to the small of your back, just above that seat, and then try to shoot your legs up towards the ceiling. As those legs reach nice and high, can you unfold that spine? Find as much length as possible. From here, I'm just gonna drop the knees back in towards my forehead, feel your core, and then shoot those legs up nice and high. Knees to forehead, feel those abdominals. Shoot them up nice and high, engage, engage. So there's lots of work here to keep those ribs and those hips glued together. There's lots of work here to keep your neck nice and long. Feel that balance. Your low body weighs more than your upper body, so it's challenging to keep those hips nice and steady on those arms. We're doing 3 more like this. Shoulders down the back. Next time the legs are shooting straight up, you're gonna try to hold them straight up. Little scissors here. Open, one towards the back of the mat, one towards the front. Meet at center, and go ahead and switch sides. Meet at center, and switch. Meet at center, and switch. Notice as you start to switch, the challenge is when both legs are straight up in that candlestick position. Reaching long as you can out both legs. Next time you're back on that first side, you're gonna pause. You're gonna try to bend that bottom knee all the way towards the front edge of the mat. You'll take that bent knee, sweep it forward, and come back into your big scissor kick. It's a bicycle. Bend the knee furthest away from you, pull that knee in towards your chest, and then land in that big scissor kick. Bend the leg furthest away from you, kick that other leg out and away, and then continue to take these bicycles, keeping the tension out of your neck, keeping the activation in your core. Imagine someone's taking a picture right when you hit that scissor. Strike your pose. Let's do 4 more. 3 more. Control it here. And then after this last one, listen carefully. Both knees bend in towards the forehead. Arms drop down by your sides. Think low back, grounding, one bone at a time. And then give those knees a big hug. Draw circles with your knees here. One direction, and then the other. Might feel some tingling down those legs, that blood flow, that circulation's happening. I'm gonna have you roll over onto one side from here, and you're gonna prop yourself up on your forearm. I'm on my right side, doesn't matter which side you're on, we're just propped up on your forehead, forearm, forehead. Gonna work some sideline work here. You always have the option to drop all the way down, lying down on that arm. So forearm, if your shoulder gets tired, neck might be tired after those inversions, you always drop right on down. We're working your bottom leg first, so we don't usually do that. Your bottom leg's gonna go out straight, and your top foot is just gonna ground with your knee bent. It doesn't matter how close this foot is in towards you, just whatever feels comfortable for you here. Flex that bottom leg, feel as long as you possibly can in your torso. Take an inhale to prepare, and exhale to hover that bottom leg up an inch, down an inch. Up an inch, down an inch. Super small range of motion. Think about that heel reaching high towards the sky. The more you flex your foot, the more engagement you're gonna feel on that inner thigh on the bottom side. The top leg is also working. You feel that work to support you. Length out the crown of your head. Remember those obliques, that shoulder, it's activating. Continue to move with the leg. We're going to try to reach this top arm all the way up overhead. Can you keep that elbow bent? Reaching that bottom leg as long as you can as you lift it and lower it that inch. You're finding even more activation now that your top arm has left the mat. We're here for 4, for 3, for 2. You're going to hold that leg hovering on 1. From here, you're going to take that heel, try to kick it all the way in towards your seat. Stay balanced as you unfold that leg so it stays lifted as you kick your seat and as you straighten that leg. Reach your heel, longest part of the leg. Activate that back chain of the body. It's going to help you all the way out the crown of your head. Try to keep that arm right over top of your head. Shoulders are engaged on both sides. They're reaching down your back. Exhale each time you lengthen. Bend and stretch for 3. Bend and stretch for 2. Last one here. Set that foot down, keep that arm up overhead. You're going to press into both feet. Prop those hips up into a little side plank. From here, can you take your top arm, reach all the way down for the mat, side bend, and then re-stack into that side plank. Reach all the way towards the mat. Notice how your hips go high, side bend, and then bring that arm up overhead, side plank. We're doing 4 more of these. Those hips go high as you press into both feet. Really feel those obliques, ribs to hips glue together on that bottom side. And then after this last one, go ahead and set those hips down. You're going to roll over onto your belly from here. Both hands are coming underneath your shoulders. Elbows are bent up towards the ceiling. Bring those shoulders down the back. Try to relax the tops of your feet. It's just a nice little swan. I know you feel uneven on both sides of your body. Lift that head, lift that heart. No crinkles in the back of the neck. Think heart all the way towards the front edge of your mat and elbows, shoulders all the way towards the back edge of your mat. You're keeping engaged from your ribs to your hips, pressing your pubic bone down as heavy as you can. And then you're just going to drop your heart, neck, and forehead one bone at a time. Lift your head, lift your heart. Breathe in, nice big swan. Working the muscles in your back, breathe out, lower down. Last one like this, breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower all the way down. Pause for me here. Tuck those toes under. Try to make the balls of the feet to that mat. We're going to press all the way up to a plank. Feel strong in every ounce of your body. Feel long from the heels to the head. And then power straight up. Find that activation in the back half of your body. Once you're here in this plank, looking for your form, holding here, shoulders over top of those wrists, clawing through all 10 fingertips, activating those ribs to glue to the hips, scooping that pubic bone under, and reaching those heels all the way for the opposite side of the room. We're going to pike those hips high towards the sky. Send your weight back towards those heels. And then come all the way forward back to that plank. Weights over those wrists. Shoot the hips up and back. And then shift the weight forward. So you're rocking over the feet. Aiming the heels for the mat on the way back. Stretch in the backs of those calves. And then coming up onto those tiptoes on the way forward. If your wrists start to bug you, you can always come down to the forearms. You can always make fists into the mat. We're doing 3 more of these. Try to keep your spine long and straight, like you're folding yourself in half each time. Now last one here, come back to that plank. See if you can hover those right toes up away from the mat without shifting your hips. Set the right foot down, hover those left toes up away from the mat, and set those left toes down. Little march here. Squeeze those glutes. Keep those hips steady. Your shoulders are down your back. Make sure those hips aren't going for their salsa dance. They're going to want to. We're here for 4 more sets. Activate your core. We've got a break after this. Last 2. Strong in those arms. And then go ahead and set those knees down, sit those hips back towards those heels. Nice big stretch forward with those arms. As long as you can, crawl those fingertips even more forward. It's okay if the shoulders are right up into the ears. This is the only time. Feel the space in both sides of your body. You still might feel a little bit uneven from that side body work. We're taking 2 breaths here. And then you can roll on up. And we'll go ahead to make our way to that side lying position for our second side. So if you were like me, this time your left forearm is the one that's down on the mat, finding that long length out your torso as much as you can. Remember, we're activating that bottom leg. So you're gonna set the top foot down with your knee bent, and then shoot that bottom leg as straight as you can. Think heel as the longest part of your leg, again, to support the back half of your body. Take a breath here. Just try to slow down the breath, slow down the heart rate, and you'll start to lift that bottom leg. We're exhaling each time you lift. It's just gonna help you engage better, work those muscles better, more efficiently. That's what we're all about in Pilates, getting the most efficient workouts we can as you lift. Deepest, smallest muscles working here. Continue to lift as you reach that top arm up overhead. Keep that elbow slightly bent, kind of how you were in that O shape earlier. It's that half of an O. As you lift and lift, just notice how that made things a little bit tougher to keep those hips steady, to keep that spine long. Reach that neck away. Those shoulders are pulling down your back. Let's do 4, 3, 2, hold that lift. Go ahead and try to kick your seat with your heel and then unfold that leg. Kick your seat with your heel, unfold that leg. Most challenging part is balancing up on this single hip with that one leg moving and your other leg staying still. Stay as long as you can in the torso, rock solid in every part of your body that's stable as you move that bottom leg. That's what we're all about in Pilates. Engage, engage for 3 more. Flex that heel long. It's all about the back half of the body. And then on that last one, hold that leg long, set that foot down, and press up into your side plank. From here, we're going into your side bench. Try to reach those fingertips all the way towards the mat as those hips lift towards the sky, and then restack one long line. Exhale as you lift. You're thinking about your ribs and your hips meeting on that bottom side, and your ribs and your hips expanding on that top side. So you're creating this little rainbow shape, this little arc shape with your body. Let's do 3. Keep that neck relaxed. 2, pull with the belly button in towards your spine, squeeze those glutes. Hold that side bend for 1 big breath. And then come all the way down. Gorgeous. Rolling back onto our belly. Once you're back on your belly, this time it's a little different. Legs and arms are both reaching long for the edges of your mat. Point those toes around the tops of those feet. Engage, pull your pubic bone down into the mat below you to squeeze those glutes. I'm going to hover my arms and my legs 2 inches up away from the mat and then set them down. Exhale as they hover 2 inches and set them down. Now you want to think long here instead of high. So can you engage and reach for opposite sides of the room each time those arms and those legs hover? We're going to do 3 more like this. Our Superman position. Hold those arms and those legs hovering, activate your core. We're going to go into swimming. Arms and legs, go for a little kick here. Swim, swim, swim all the way across the room. Try to keep reaching long as you swim. Keep your torso totally still is your goal. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Take a breath. From here, wiggle those hands back so that they're about under your shoulders. Elbows are bent up high towards the sky. Now your knees are going to stay down this time as you press up into a half plank. So knees stay down. I'm up on those hands. Same options. You can come to fists if you need to. From here, I'm going to bend my elbows. My chest comes hovering up above that mat. And then I just shoot those arms out long. So little tricep activation here. You want to lead with your heart, not with your head or your hips. You want to squeeze your glutes, if you can, to really engage and support that low back. Now we're not going to do very many here, but can you think elbows towards your hip bones instead of elbows out wide towards the sides? Just a little bit different work in the back body. Activating the muscles in your posture more than the chest when we do it this way. Let's do 3, 2, exhale out, and then 1. Bring those knees under the hips. Once those knees are under the hips, we're just going for a cat-cow. You're going to drop the belly, lift the head, lift the heart. And then exhale, curl, look between those legs, shy puppy dog, tail between those thighs. And then breathe in to expand the front half of your body. Breathe out to stretch the skin of the back body as you look between the legs. And breathe in to arch the back, diving that chest forward through the shoulder blades. Let's do 2 more rounds of this. Use your breath. And then after that last round, you're looking for a neutral spine. You want your belly button to pull up away from gravity here. So make sure you're engaging that transverse abdominis, that internal corset. Last thing here up on the hands, you're going to tuck those toes under so the balls of their feet make their way back to the mat. You're going to keep those knees bent. As you exhale, can they hover 1 inch up away from the mat? Feel your back body turn on. Inhale to set them down. Exhale, power right back up. Use your breath. If you need to take a break and come back to it, you do so. You're going to keep lifting with every single exhale. Think about that belly button to spine connection. That core wrap is what's lifting the knees. Can you tune into that sensation? Think balancing a teacup up on your tailbone. Neck is nice and long. You don't have far to go with those knees. Let's do 4. Let's do 3. Power in that core for 2. Last one, hold it up there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop those knees, untuck those toes, sit all the way back towards your heels, and then walk the hands all the way back towards your heels. Slow down the heart rate, slow down the breath as your forehead collapses for the mat. Feel your rib cage expand up towards the sky, as deep of breaths as you can here. Big inhale through the nose, blow it all out through the mouth. 1 more breath like that. And we're gonna roll on up. Swing those legs out from underneath you, and then end up with those knees bent and those feet grounded, just how we started class. Guess what? We're on the last series for today. You're going to grab the backs of those thighs and then just gently roll all the way down onto your back, feeling nice and long in the spine. If you're not already, go ahead and button the back of your belly button down to the mat, find imprint. 1 knee at a time is going to float up to tabletop. Can you glue those inner thighs together? We're going to keep those knees at tabletop. Reach your arms straight up for the ceiling. It's your abdominal curl. Exhale as you nod your chin towards your chest. Reach those fingertips past those feet for the opposite side of the room as you lift your chest into that abdominal curl. And then lower the shoulders, neck, and head as the arms float for the sky. No movement in those legs. Lifting the head, neck, and chest. Reach, reach, reach for the opposite side of the room. And then lower the shoulders, neck, and head 1 bone at a time. 1 more of these. You're going to keep your head, neck, and chest lifted on this last one. We're going to start to pump your arms up and down for your 100. You're breathing in for 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 2, 3, 4, 5. In for 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 2, 3, 4, 5. Use your breath to help you engage your core even more. Use your breath to help you lift that head, neck, and chest an inch higher. Use your breath to activate the cardiovascular system here. Engage in your torso. Keep everything still except those pumping arms. Reach, reach, reach for the opposite side of the room. We're keeping our legs at tabletop here for today. Breathing in for 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees, drop your head, bring those elbows out wide, and pull those shoulders down away from those ears. Beautiful. Keep the hands where they are. Curl the forehead all the way up. Try to come into your little ball. Similar to that little ball when we thought about the knees coming to the forehead. You want to think both directions in this one. So upper and lower abs meeting in towards one another, grounding that belly button as much as you can. From here, you're going to leave your head lifted. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Legs are going to reach long for the opposite side of the room. And then hug those knees all the way back in. Elbows out wide. Arms and legs go long. Breathe in. Hug them in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Go long. Breathe out. Come in. Breathe in. Go long. Breathe out. Come in. You feel that support in your core. Oh boy, when those legs go long, our abs have to hold on. Keep the muscles in your back turned on. If you need to drop the head, be my guest. Drop the head. We don't want tension in the neck. We want tension in that core, in that fire, our powerhouse, our center. We've got 3. We've got 2. We've got 1. Drop that head. Take a breath. Our head's going to stay down for this next exercise. You're unfolding 2 straight legs up towards the ceiling. I'm going to have you flex your toes down towards your nose and just take a breath. From here, arms reach up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, can you reach all the way for those toes? Try to give them a tap. And then lower the shoulders down. Try to give them a tap. Lower those shoulders down. Ooh boy, ending with this core stuff is so intense. Reach, reach, reach. Our body is already so tired. You can move as slow or as fast as you need to. Use that breath. If you want to bend the knees so it's easier to reach for those toes. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Hold that chest lifted. Bring the hands behind the head, elbows bent out wide. I'm going to drop my right heel down towards the ground in front of me. Lift it all the way up. Drop that left heel. Lift it all the way up. One heel at a time drops down. Keep the spine imprinted. As your heel drops, you might twist towards that top leg. Come back to center. Twist towards the other top leg, come back to center. So as your heel drops, you're twisting to the opposite direction, towards the leg that's hanging out up by the ceiling. It's totally optional. You can also drop the head if you need to. Let's do 1 more on each side. You got this. And then hug those knees in. Drop your head. Take a breath. Ooh, me, oh my. Heels drop down onto that ground. Little space between the knees and the feet. Let's squeeze your glutes. Power the glutes straight up towards the sky. Nice big stretch down the front part of your body. You need it after that ab work. Squeeze those glutes. Nice big work in the back half of your body. We need that strength and support for our posture. You're going to let those hips come all the way down just to a hover, and then power them right back up. Drop down just to a hover, squeeze and power up. So you want to think lifting with the squeeze of the glutes. You're going all the way to that hover before you lift. And then next time you're lifted, you're going to stay lifted. Little pulses with the hips. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, even deeper. You got this. You've got 4, 3, 2. Hold those hips up high. Can you come up onto your tiptoes? And can you drop the heels down? Can you come up onto your tiptoes and drop the heels down? Keep the engagement in the glutes. That's the hardest part. Keep the engagement in your core. That's the hardest part. Really articulate through the feet. Try not to let your ankles roll out right and left. Next time those heels are high, they're gonna stay high. Last thing with these hips lifted, your arms are reaching straight up for the sky and lowering all the way down towards those heels. Straight up for the sky and down towards those heels. Try to reach your hips out over your knees. Really pressing the balls of the feet down into that mat. Engage the muscles underneath your arms like you're moving through a body of water. We've got 3. We've got 2. You're gonna hold those arms lifted, take a breath in, articulate, dropping your heart first on the breath out, tucking your pubic bone up towards your belly button, and then releasing the low back, the tailbone, hugging both knees in towards the chest, and taking a breath. From here, you're gonna kick your left leg out long, nice big stretch. Hug that right knee in towards you. You're just gonna take that right knee out towards the shoulder, and then back in front of the chest. Out towards the shoulder, and back in front of the chest. This is creating a little bit of relief in the front of that hip flexor if it did a lot of work to grip on during class. Try to slow down your breath, enjoy the stretch. Melt that tension away, leave it on your mat, leave it on the equipment. And then you're gonna reach the left hand to the outside of that right knee, twist on over to the left, reach that right hand long and take a peek at it. Big twist. You come back to center and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Slide that right leg all the way down, hug that left knee in. Just taking that little turn over towards the shoulder, back towards the chest. Over towards the shoulder, back towards the chest. Freeing up that hip flexor as much as possible. Relaxing the spine, relaxing the neck. And then grabbing across for the outside of that knee as you take your twist over, look towards those left fingertips as you reach long like that big letter T with that left arm. Take 2 breaths here, release any tension. And then come all the way to center. Both legs are gonna reach long towards the opposite side of the mat. Both arms are gonna reach long towards the opposite side of the room. It's a big, full body stretch. We're gonna end here with one last activation of our entire body. It's your full roll up. Take a big inhale. Exhale as the hands come up towards the sky. Forehead nods towards those toes. Reach all the way up and over those legs. Use your core, use your inner thighs, use your glutes. And then you can hang out here as long as you want, sending that breath up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, walk those hands back next to your hips. You can sit up nice and tall and give yourselves a hand. I told you it was going to be every ounce from the head to the toes. We hit every single part of our body today. I hope you feel wonderful. I hope you feel out of breath. Maybe you broke a little sweat. Get some water. Take a breath. If you need an extra stretch, you can always come to one of those stretching videos I've got there down for you in the library. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time on the mat.